In this tutorial video, I'm going to show you how to create different photo booth templates to use with PsRemote or other photo booth softwares. The second objective is to go over the photo booth setup wizard in Breeze software. And we're going to go and show you how to design different photo booth templates using Canva.com, which is a free website designer. Next, we're going to show you how to add these backgrounds into your photo booth software. And then lastly, how to add your mirror booth animation files to your event so you have a complete solution with customized photo booth layouts and animations. So let's go to the first program on the internet. This is called Canva.com, Canva.com, and you can get a free account. You just go there, type in a username, email address, and password, and we'll give you a free account. And we're going to be going over the program that a lot of people use on their mirror photo booths called PsRemote. And to start off, we need to go over the basics first, and that basically needs to introduce you to the photo booth setup wizard. By using this tool, which is in the upper left-hand corner, it opens up kind of a series of step-by-step questions that help you design your photo booth layout strips. So for a mirror booth, you're either going to want to take usually 3 or 4 pictures and have them printed out on a piece of paper. I prefer using the Sony 200 printer, which is an older printer, but it's very fast and robust, and you can do either the single strips or the double strips or one big picture. Personally, I like the bigger pictures better. I think they look better. So for this example, I'm going to do a single strip of 3 photos. Okay, and hit next here, and you're going to name it. I'm just going to call this 3 pics example. Okay, and hit next, and then these are different options. They're pretty self-explanatory. Like if you want to email photos, you would check that. The one I usually uncheck is display print preview because it just tends to slow down the line. I'm going to hit finish here. Okay. So it says congrats, you did everything correct. Now to see what our pictures are going to look like when they print, we need to go under the print layout button right here. Okay. So as you can see, we have our 3 pictures, 1, 2, and 3 right here. It looks like it preloaded a pinkish fuchsia background color here. Now if you want something very simple, you can just go under edit captions here, and you can enable caption 1, you can enable caption 2 as well, and these are just a couple of text things that they already put in there already. Okay, and you can move this up, format it how you want, and you can hit OK here. You can go under advanced settings here, and you can click on save, and you want to save the printer settings. Yes, you want to do that, and we're going to go up to the folder we created, which is called 3 pics example, and double click on the settings. It says you want to override it. Yes. Okay. So by doing that, you have saved all the settings in order to create that pink layout that I just showed you. And you can also go to that layout by clicking on the custom layout settings button, which is about 2/3 of the way down in this window right here. And you see that this is how your picture is going to come out. Let's say you want to spice it up a little bit and you want it to look a little nicer than just a colored background with text on top of it. What you want to do is you want to do a session in your photo booth software. Okay, that session is going to be saved by default under your documents folder, then photo booth images, and then today's date, and then a folder called print. So I've already done a couple of samples here. So here's one sample I did. Here's another sample I did, which is pretty much the exact same thing, but you'll notice that the pictures are slightly smaller, which gives you more border space to add design elements, and the top has more space above it, or the top margin is bigger than the bottom. So let's go back to PsRemote and see how you can tweak your setup in order to do something like that. So in this setup window right here, you want to click on the preset layouts button, which is right above the OK button. And this shows you where your margins are and where your pictures are. So on the left-hand side over here, you have all these numbers. They're in pixels. It really doesn't matter whether you're using pixels or inches. You just kind of play around with it until you get something you like. So for the top, instead of being 50 pixels, we can set it to 400. And that red highlighted area shows you that the bigger margin is pushing all the pictures down. Okay. And now for the left, right, and spacing pixels, they're set to 50 right now. I want to increase that. If you want a 50% bigger, you would do 75. I'm just lazy. I'm going to hit 88 to make it real quick to type in these numbers here. Okay. So with this layout right here, you notice that the margin at the top is very big, and the space in between the pictures is a little bit bigger as well. And these were the exact same numbers that I used in order to create this layout right here, which I clicked on in Canva. Okay. So the reason this is important is you're going to run a session in your PsRemote program, and what you're going to do is you're going to upload that session to your Canva website. So you're going to click on Upload Your Own Images here. Okay. This is one I just created. Okay. And it's going to upload that file there. Okay. The reason this is important is because you have to be able to place this image on your canvas so you know where your pictures are going to be. Okay. So I'm going to start from scratch. I'm going to go on File, and I'm going to do let's go right from the beginning. Go to Canva over here. Use custom dimensions. Okay. So for the Sony 200 printer, it has dimensions of 2048 by 1392. Other printers, it will tell you in the software under the print layout what the dimensions are going to be. But that's what I'm using today. So I'm going to click on Design here. Okay. And it's going to open up a new blank canvas. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to choose a background. Actually, I'm going to go under Uploads. Do I have anything here? No. I'll just search for pink flowers. I want a pink flower background. Okay. You can pay for some of these. I like this one right here. Okay. So I'm going to click. I'm going to drag it so it fills up my whole white space. It can even be a little bit bigger. It really doesn't matter that much. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger because I don't like that dark space on the bottom. Okay. And if you have the background at 100%, it's very dominant. So I'm going to take the transparency down to about 50%. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to my Uploads folder. And I'm going to take this upload from the Photobooth software. And it's going to be almost an exact fit. As you stretch it out in the corners, you can see what the numbers are. So right here you see 2093 by 1414. That's a little bit too big. I want 1392 by 2048. It's 1392 by 2060 something. Close enough. Okay. So we're going to basically center this. It's really important you get this centered as possible because if your alignment is off, then all your design elements are going to be off as well. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and set the transparency of this down to about 47%, just to give us some guidance of where stuff is going to be. And then I'm going to go over to text over here, add a heading up here, okay? And you can choose the different fonts over here. I like a script type font, so let's browse through here. We'll use the same one I did before, playlist script, okay? And we're going to type in what we want it to say here. So if you're doing a bride and groom's name, the bride's name always comes first because she's more important. So Katie and Brad, okay? And then this is a little bit small, so we're going to change the size here, maybe to about 96. And we'll put that about there. Now you got to realize that this translucent template that I uploaded is just there to show us where the pictures are going to be. We're going to delete that file afterwards, okay? So it's not really that important. Okay, so I'm going to copy this one here, and it gets pasted automatically. We're going to take and drag it down here, and we're going to change this into the date. I'm just going to select that. We'll do September 12, 2018. Okay. And that's too big, so I'm going to change this to maybe like 24 font, something like that. Yeah, that looks good. Okay. So that will go there. And then, just to give these pictures a little bit of pizzazz, we're going to go under Elements here. And let's do frames. And these are various frames you can use. Okay. Actually, let's go under Elements here. Oh, we'll just do shapes. Okay, so here's like a yellow box type shape. And you can click on the handles here to make it skinnier, right? So this isn't a frame that's going to go all around the image. I'm just going to have it above the top and bottom. And yellow doesn't really go with the design. Let's choose this pink color. And let's give it a sense of having different layer effects by giving it about 50% transparency. Okay, so we're going to go and copy that. We'll do copy, and then we'll drag it over this middle picture here. And you notice there's some like blue guidelines that helps everything get aligned correctly, but some of it is just eyeballing it between the pictures there. Okay, so we're going to take these objects here and we're going to arrange them by going back. Oh, back one more time. Here we're going to hit arrange back, back. And this last one, arrange back, back. Okay, so it takes a little bit of imagination, but you can kind of see the outline of the layout behind here with pictures 1, 2, and 3. And this is, if we go under here and hit delete, get rid of that layer, this is going to be what our layout looks like, except there's going to be 3 pictures here from the photo booth that go in spots 1, 2, and 3 in that area. Okay, so we're going to download this. Click on download here. The standard is PNG. I'm just going to choose JPEG because that's what this particular program uses. If you're going to do a transparent object, you actually have to pay like 10 bucks a month for doing that to Canva.com. It's not that expensive, but most of the time people don't need a transparency. And I click on download here. And they also have an app for the iPad if you want to design this for an iPad app, or if you just like using the iPad more. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and click on Save As. And we're going to go under our example, which is 3Pix example folder, which was created by the software when we ran the Photobooth Setup Wizard. So again, it's under Documents, Photobooth Images, and then whatever you name the folder, in this example, 3Pix example. Okay, and I'm just going to call this background. Okay, so I'm going to click on Save, and we're going to go to PsRemote. Okay, so PsRemote, here is our setup right here. We're going to hit OK to go back to the layout screen here, and we're going to go under the background, import background, which is right underneath that big matrix of numbers. We're going to go into our 3Pix example folder and click on this background right here and hit Open. Okay, if you want to overwrite it, yes, okay, hit OK. So next you see this double text. We want to go under our edit captions here and get rid of caption 1 and also get rid of caption 2. And then do we have a caption 3? We don't have a caption 3, but I'm going to enable it. Okay, and it just says mywebsite.com, and if you notice it's 0.6 or really something small font in the lower left hand corner. So if people want to cut it off, they can easily. It's up to you if you want to put advertising on your strips or not. I think it's a good thing to do. You can even print out stickers and paste them on the back if you don't want on the front. Okay. So we've gone and created the layout in PsRemote, and we took a session to store it on our computer, and then we uploaded that session to our website, www.canva.com. We've made our design a little bit flashier by adding some flowers and design elements, downloaded it back to our PC, and this is the point that we're at right now. So it looks a lot more interesting than the plain fuchsia pinkish background that we started out with. So the last steps we have to do is add the video animation files to this event so that when we're at our wedding or happy birthday party or whatever your event you're at, everything flows together seamlessly. So we're going to go ahead and hit OK here. Okay, and we're going to go under My Computer. We're going to go under your Documents folder and then Photobooth Images folder. So in this folder are a bunch of subfolders, and each subfolder is a different Mirror Booth theme, I would say. Okay, so this EMJPS is emojis. This KidP is a kids one. The XMPBRZ one is a Christmas one. So you can kind of explore them and get a feel which theme is which. Okay, so let's say you're doing this and you want the effects one right here. Okay, you want these video files, and just to open it up, there's various video files that you can see in this folder. Okay, let's say you want to use this video set theme animations with the layout you just made, okay? So what you're going to do is you're going to copy all the video files into the folder you just created. And again, that is a 3pix example folder, okay? So we're going to go ahead and double click on this, okay? And choose your video files, okay? Basically, it's everything but these text files here. So I can just hit Control-A on the keyboard, and then unselect these 3 files here. Hit copy, okay? I'm going to go up to the 3pix example folder. I'm going to hit paste, and it's going to say, do you want to replace the existing files in there? Yes, we're going to replace those files, okay? So now, you have your layout or background file right here. You have your video animation files and your countdowns at the right locations. And then your settings file has all the technical information so the Photobooth program knows what order to play everything and how to print out the photos, etc. Let's go back to our PsRemote program. We're going to make sure we're in the right folder here, which we are, okay? Hit OK, and we're going to click on Start Photobooth here.
Touch to start.
Okay, so the first thing you notice is this isn't quite looking how you thought it would. There's a big live view there, and the video is really small underneath. So before you get into this, you need to go under Advanced Settings, and you need to disable the live view, okay? So it says Enable Live View. That's the first checkbox towards the middle. You're going to uncheck that. You don't want the live view playing. You just want the video playing. The next thing you're going to do is under Touchscreen Settings, which is about halfway down, you click on that button, and it opens up a new screen showing you where all the different functions of the touchscreen are allocated, okay? For a mirror booth, it's really simple. You want the whole darn screen to be a touchscreen. Whenever they touch it, you want it to start, and that's typically all you want to do. Now, there's tons of other things you can do, but it's a little bit too long to get into this basics program. So, on the Start button, you start in the very upper left-hand corner, which is 00, and then you just put in the resolution of your TV. For most people, it's going to be a vertical TV, which is 1080 resolution by 1920. Now, if you're lucky enough to have a high-definition TV, it might be something like 2000 by 4000. But as long as you have a big area, it's pretty hard to miss when they touch it. You'll be fine. Okay. So, do you want to override these other areas? Yes, because we're not going to give them the option between color and black and white in this particular session here. So, the last thing you need to do, this is very, very important, is you need to save your event, okay? It's going to ask you if you want to save the printer settings. You're going to hit yes for that. And you want to make sure you're under the right folder because you don't want to save your settings in the wrong folder and then get confused later on. So we're under the Documents, Photobooth Images, 3pix example folder, exactly where we want to go. And we're just going to overwrite the existing settings by double-clicking on them and then hitting yes, okay? We're going to hit OK here, and we're going to click on Start Photobooth again.
Touch to start.
Now the video is taking up the entire screen, and this particular sample computer I'm showing you is horizontal. Your mirror computer would probably be vertical, so it might look a tiny bit different. So I'm going to go ahead and touch the screen to start, and it's going to go ahead and do a session here.
5, 4, 3, 2,
Then after the session, I'm going to show you the results. Now the picture is showing up sideways, so that's one other thing.
The mirror loves you.
We have to rotate the camera to the right position.
Strike a pose. 5, 4, 3,
And in the
2,
future, I'm going to show you how to do a video where you can actually make these mirror booth animation video files.
That photo was fire. Last chance to be hot. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Okay, so that was the last picture. In order to get out of full screen photo booth mode, you can hit...
The mirror is printing your photo.
You can hit escape on the keyboard. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Okay, so let's go into our Documents folder,
Touch to start.
Photo Booth Images, and let me go back to this program so it's not
Touch to start.
repeating all the time. So I told you you had to change the camera orientation, so you're going to go Camera, and you're going to go under, View. Instead of Landscape, you want Portrait, 90 degrees counterclockwise, okay? And you can hit a release button here, and test it. It's going to show you the picture that you just took, and that's vertical, the right orientation, so you know that you did it correctly. Okay. So let's see the output that we have over here. So the way the program works is it sends all the pictures to a folder on today's date. So it's May 27, 2018. I'm going to double click on that, and you see all the individual pictures here, and then under the prints folder you're going to see the one that we just did, and here is your example. So this says Katie and Chris, just like we spelled out on our website, canva.com, and the date underneath it. So this is not hard to learn, folks. It just takes a little bit of practice and time and effort and playing around with it. You can make some really cool layouts. I'm not a graphic design genius, but I can come up with stuff that's pretty good looking. So definitely play around with it. If you need help with PsRemote, the best thing to do is click on the help file, click on contents, and then you can use the search function here. Let's say you want to know how to green screen. You can type that in, and then you can read the session on green screen. If you want to know how to do the mirror booth animations, you can type in that. This is a really good resource. If you want to be a total guru with this program, just read the entire photo booth shooting chapter right here, and you'll be miles ahead of your competition there. If you have any questions, go ahead and ask below or send us an email. I hope you found this video enjoyable and you learned something. Thanks for watching.